Alright, hey everyone, how you doing? It's Chris here, race director for Chiltern Ridge 50k on Saturday. Just thought I'd say hello from the trail here in Wendover. Actually just walking up the path that you're all going to be on at the 30k mark on Saturday, which is actually Runaway Racing HQ. So you'll be coming down the ridgeway, hitting the checkpoint, turning back around and making your way back up and then all the way back to Berkhamsted. So I'm going to run through all the race details, everything that you need to know ahead of the race. I'm going to do that back in the warmth of the office. Okay, so let's get into the race information for Saturday. So the Chiltern Ridge Winter 50k, it's the first time we've done this race. A lot of you may know about our Chiltern Ridge 50k route that we do in the spring, which is a point-to-point race from Berkhamsted to Wendover, whereas this is a looped route that starts and finishes at Berkhamsted Cricket Club. Now, if you want to have a look at the race route and just get to know everything a little bit better, you will find that I've done a full route fly-through video, and if you go onto the website runawayracing.com, go to the race page, you'll find a GPX file of the route, and you'll find it on lots of other platforms as well, along with lots of other resources like an information document about the race. So do head there, you know, if you're looking for anything in particular. There's absolutely loads of stuff there for you to browse. Okay, so onto the logistics. So as I said, the event base is at Berkhamsted Cricket Club. It's just north of the train station. Now, we don't have any car parking there whatsoever for runners, so please don't arrive on Saturday morning expecting to park at the event base. You will be turned away and asked to park in public car parks or on roads within Berkhamsted. So please do your research up front and decide where you're going to park. Now, there's three major public car parks, and those are the train station, which is the closest. It's about a 500-meter walk. It is quite expensive. It's 10 quid for all day parking. Now, if you want a no faff, easy situation, just park at the station, pay the 10 quid, walk up the road and you're there. If you want to save a little bit of money, then you can park at two council-owned car parks in Berkhamsted for £4. Those are Lower Kings Road, which is about 800 meters away, let's say. It's the multi-story, and one thing to note is you have to park on floors 4 to 7 if you're parking there for the whole day. Floors 1 to 3 is only for short stay users. There's also the St John's Wells Lane car park, which is again very slightly further, maybe about a kilometre, so you're looking at about a 15-minute walk. That's the one just opposite Waitrose's car park. That's also £4 and has plenty of spaces. Now, there are also roads without restrictions that you can park on. I'm not going to recommend which you can potentially go to because it will just clog up those roads. So, if you know some good places to park in Berkhamsted, do that and save yourself some money on the car parking. Now, once you've parked, walk yourself over to Berkhamsted Cricket Club, walk up the driveway. You're going to be directed around to the back of the building where you enter and you can register. Now, that's open from 6:30 onwards, and registration then runs all the way until about 7:40, which will be followed by a race briefing, just a really short one on the day at 7:50, and then race start is 8 AM. We're going a little bit earlier than usual for our starts for this one to make the most of the sunlight. So it's an 8 AM start, and the cut-off for this one is 8.5 hours, which means we need everyone at the finish line for 4:30. Okay, so once you've registered, you're going to get given your bib, your timing chip for the day. Now, there's also a bag drop available if you want to drop your bag off. If you've pre-ordered a t-shirt, then you can pick that up at registration as well. Bear in mind that you'll need somewhat, probably a bag to put it in and leave that there for the day, but you can pick that up at the start. We do have them for sale for those of you that didn't order one during your registration and you've changed your mind and you do want one, but bear in mind that we do have limited availability on that. So if you do want a t-shirt, I would recommend heading over to the website, going to the store page, ordering it now, and then we can reserve the size for you. There will be free tea and coffee available throughout the morning when you arrive, and we do have an indoor space, so you won't be hanging out outside. I mean, Obviously, it'll get quite busy close to the start of the race, but we do have a room indoors for people to congregate. So, we are expecting it to be reasonably cold at that time in the morning. So bring yourself a nice warm jacket, and then you can leave it at the bag drop while you're running. Fantastic. So let's have a think about the route. Now, the route is 50.2 kilometers in distance. You will see somewhere I've advertised it as 50.5. Slight tweak at the end of the route where we can now shortcut into the finish through a gate, means we chopped off 300 meters. So yeah, just over 50 kilometers. The important thing to say on the route is that the first checkpoint is 18 kilometers into the race, which is a little bit further than we'd like, but it does mean the subsequent checkpoints are much closer together. So if you are, in fact, all of you, make sure you're prepared for that first 18K. Start with lots of fluids, start hydrated, make sure you've got some nutrition in your bag, get yourself through that first 18K. Of course, you'll be on fresh legs at that point, but, normally we'd try and get that first checkpoint in more like 14, 15K. So it's a little bit further. Therefore, you just need to bear that in mind and plan accordingly. Once you get out of that aid station, which is in Aldbury at the playing fields, the next checkpoint is at 30.8 kilometers. So you've got about 12.5, 13Ks to get to that second one from the first. And then the third checkpoint is 41.2Ks. So that's about another 11, 12 kilometers. And then you've got to run into the finish then of about 9K. So 3 checkpoints, we'll have all the usual stuff. We've got loads of supplies from Precision Fuel and Hydration. We're going to have that PF30 gels and chews, and we'll also have some electrolytes from them as well. Obviously do carry some nutrition with you, but you can, top up with that stuff as you get past the checkpoints. And we'll have all the usual stuff as well, all the stuff you'd expect: Coke, water, crisps, sweets, all that kind of stuff, bit of fruit. So yeah, do make the most of that. Okay, so next up is the race signage that you're going to be following. Now you'll see behind me I've got all of these ribbons hanging next to me. So these are the ribbons that we use to mark the course. They will be hanging from trees and all sorts of different places throughout the route, and they do have a little reflective strip on the bottom. So as it gets dark, your head torches will pick those up nicely. And then what we have as our normal signage is this orange arrow signage. Again, it's got some reflective tape on it for when it gets darker, and these do come in a few different sizes. So we've got this one here, we've got this ones which are a little bit bigger, and then even a few that are, massive and tell you which direction to turn. So that's what you're always looking out for, is orange signage that looks like that. The other thing, which I've just dropped, but here we go, is our wrong way signs. If you see something like this, we often put that, like if you're taking a quite tight left or right that isn't marshalled, on the straight on will whack a wrong way, so that, you've just got some indicator that you've missed something. That just means go back, look for the left or right, and you should get back on your way. Now, all of those really tight and difficult navigation points, we do have marshals, got loads of marshals out on the route. And as I'll come to in the mandatory kit check in a minute, we are asking everyone to have access to the race route on their phone or on their watch. We've got all the links to the files and places to get access to that on our website. Do make sure you have that. It's a great backup just in case you need it. Okay, so I'll run through the mandatory kit. We've got mobile phone with the emergency number saved. I'll whack that on the screen now. GPX of the route via your watch or phone. So, use your app of choice. So we've got it on Garmin, OS Maps, and Google Maps on the website. And you can also download the raw GPX file. You need to have some sort of water system, minimum 500 mils, but would recommend 1 litre. A waterproof jacket, not expecting too much rain at the moment, but that can always change. A head torch or some form of light that is not your phone. And I know that this is probably contentious for a lot of people because it is only going to get dark in that last hour, but we do want everyone to carry it just in terms of fairness. We can't just say the slower people or the people taking a little bit longer have to carry the head torch. Everyone has to carry it. So even if you're planning to finish in 4 hours, you still do need to have a headlamp on you. And those that will finish in the podium positions, you will have your kit checked as you cross the finish line. You need some form of warm hat and some gloves, so like a beanie or something like that. A buff is also acceptable for the hat. Have some gloves with you. Then we need an additional long-sleeved layer, and this is not something that you're wearing, but this is something that you keep dry in your bag. The reason for this is, let's say that you injure yourself on the route, you turn an ankle and you're waiting for someone to come rescue you. You're going to be in a cold, sweaty top, and you will really enjoy the warmth of that dry layer in your bag. So make sure you've got that. Then we ask for some sort of cash or bank card. Of course, contactless on your phone will work fine for that. But obviously, if you did need to get a taxi, spend some money in an emergency situation, then you'll need some form of payment. So make sure you have something. And last thing is a reusable cup. That's not mandatory, it's recommended. And this is so that you can take things like Coke or electrolyte drink from the aid station that you might not want to put in your soft flask itself. So please bring a reusable cup if you want to make use of that. Okay, a few points on safety. So road crossing, so you're running on public footpaths for the entire route, and those do cross open roads, some of them very fast. And although we do try and marshal road crossings, not all of them will be marshalled, and it is always your own responsibility to safely cross the roads that you encounter on the route. So ensure that you do that. Make sure you look for traffic. You don't just follow the runner in front. There will be livestock. There may well be horses that you pass along the route. There's no bulls or anything like that, but you may come across some sheep. You may come across some cows, and just be respectful to all the animals that you see, and particularly if you're going past horse riders, please do slow down and walk past them at an appropriate sort of safe distance and speed. If there are any problems out on the route and you need some help, there is the race director number on your bib. You can also, for sort of non-emergency communication, you can send that number a WhatsApp message or a text. If you're dropping out of the race, for example, and you're not coming back to the start finish, please just let us know via that number so that we can mark you as not running and safe, rather than look for you in the hours of darkness later in the day. Spectators are very welcome at the finish, at the checkpoint, bar checkpoint 2. The reason I say that is checkpoint 2 has no vehicle access. You could walk up from Wendover, but it's quite a long way just to get to that checkpoint. So please, no spectators at checkpoint 2, but checkpoint 1 and 3 absolutely fine. Just obviously be super mindful of car parking. Please park sensibly and safely at all times. We don't allow pacing, but we do not have any issue with crewing. So if you do have people following you and they want to hand you an additional gel or anything like that, we have no problem with that. But certainly no pacing or running or getting into vehicles or jumping onto bikes or anything like that. Food. At the finish, there will be, there's a fully licensed bar serving Mad Squirrel beer, hot drinks, pizza, and there will also be things like, I think they've got fries, they've got sausage bacon rolls, things like that. So please do hang around, grab a bite to eat. The caterers are spending the day with us, so let's make it worth their while. Results and photos. Results will be live. There's a split timing point at checkpoint 1, which is, to say, 18Ks, and checkpoint 2, which is 30.8Ks. And the photos will be taken by Jason. Jason Clark will be out on the course, so look out for him. Give him a smile when you see him, and they will arrive in your email a couple of days after the race. Alright, nice one guys, so that concludes the video. Thanks so much for watching along. It is going to be an awesome day on Saturday. We will see you there.